I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and I have here with me one of the most awesome people on YouTube. He's one of the first people I followed when I found out what the hell is going on this sphere of things, and he's pretty freaking cool. Jeremy from The Quartering. Hello.
Hey, hi. Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to our chat.
Of course, I'm so happy that you're here, and I guess first and foremost, I want to start the show off by saying that I'm very, very sorry for your loss, Jeremy. I know that you went through something horrible, but I'm very thankful that you decided to come on today.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. I don't really know what else to do besides work, and I had already said I was going to come on to the show, and so I try to honor my obligations when possible.
I tell everyone, Jeremy is a top-notch business dude. You've never let me down when I've asked you to come on. You've never let me down before. And the last time you came on, a war started. So I was kind of hoping maybe if you came on again, maybe CERN will, collide, or I don't know, do something that the war will be over, or maybe another one will start. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps it will end as a bookend. That would be pretty neat. That would be a very nice outcome.
It would be. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about tonight because even though the writer's strike is happening, and even though basically the entertainment industry is in kind of a shambles, there's no shortage of news, especially with regards to celebrities being just completely oblivious to reality. It's just it's really funny stuff. So I guess for tonight, we're going to start off with Rachel Zegler. I'm sure you are familiar. Well, I mean, I've seen you cover her a little bit on the channel. How are those videos doing for you? Good.
It's she's not quite Brie Larson levels, but there in many ways she is just far worse. And so it's always fun dunking on terrible people. And she certainly fits the bill. Just an awful human being. And it's fun pointing that out.
Yeah, it is really fun to point that out sometimes, especially when you see like so much hypocrisy going on. The only thing I can okay, she's nuts. All right. I'm going to profess this by saying she's nuts, but the only thing that's kind of getting to me is the amount of hate she's getting versus Gal Gadot, because most of the clips I've seen, of her talking about Snow White, Gal is right there and being like, "Yeah, that's our story. It's not about the prince." Like she's totally like, has her
Yeah.
back and everything, and no one's saying a word about Gal. And I'm like, these ladies have basically been given this script. Like, this is the talking points that you got to talk about. And Rachel's new, like she's a newbie. So she's gonna follow the script that they've given her. I don't think
Mhm.
this is something that's just coming out just out of her specifically. I think it's the studios and it's actually the PR people that have told her to say stuff like this. And now it's backfiring and they're kind of throwing her under the bus. That's kind of like the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're, I think there's an element of truth. First of all, too, Gal Gadot really just not taking any of it. Not that she's going to go against the narrative like live in an interview, but she also hasn't come out to correct anything,
Mhm.
which I found hilariously as technically they're not allowed to like be addressing this.
Yes.
So, spoiler alert, I have video tomorrow where a new video, which was definitely not from Rachel Zegler's PR agency, was
Mhm.
put on the internet today of her saying how
Mhm.
many, how she loves it. And it's very clear that it's a PR video that they snuck out there. And
Absolutely.
it's a bizarre thing. Oh yeah, you had the article right there. Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was it's crafty. I think the biggest part of it and what really grinds my gears with a lot of these people is the fake fandomness of it. We saw this
Mhm.
with um we saw this with what's his name? Oh my god, the guy that killed He-Man. Um Kevin Smith, where he's like, "Oh, I've always been a huge fan." And then there's like literal clips of him on his TV show being like, "I never cared about He-Man."
Oh
And
my god, yeah.
there
Mhm.
and like Zegler's the same thing. She's like, "Oh my god, it's the bestest ever, ever, ever." She's literally done interviews where she's like, I watched the movie once when I was a kid. I hated it. I didn't watch it again until I got this job." She was on that loser Jimmy Kimmel show saying um, she'd never been on the ride, even though she said in recent interviews that it's her favorite ride at Disneyland. She grew up going to Disneyland all the time. So it's this stuff that and that's kind of my that's also kind of my wheelhouse is
Mhm.
reporting on that kind of stuff, which is always it's so wild. Like you don't have to lie. You could just as easily say that's what's so funny. It's like the errors are so unforced. She
Mhm.
could just be saying, "Wow, I didn't grow up with Snow White, but when this opportunity came up, I started diving in deep." And you could say that. You don't have to say like, "Oh, I grew up as such a huge fan." When it's just baloney. It's
Mhm.
yeah, Kevin Smith too is another one. Yeah, and even Seth Rogen. "Oh, I always loved the
Oh
turtles."
god,
Yeah, okay, you love the turtles. Yeah, it looks like you do.
that
So
guy's the
yeah,
worst.
yeah, dude, yeah,
Did you see the new TMNT?
no,
No.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like it looked I mean, it looked fine. Like,
Mhm.
it had, like, the diversity crap, which, again, is not like it's not like I'm like, "Oh my god, a black person's in this movie." It's like it's immersion breaking for me when it's a very obvious,
Mhm.
like, race swap or gender swap, and, it'll, like, ruin the movie for me, so I don't really
I
care
For
to
me,
see it.
more than anything, like, not even, like, the Black April was, like, the just the animation in general, like, just looks like absolute trash, and I'm like, "I don't understand why they think that this looks good." Like, this whole I don't know, I just didn't it doesn't vibe with me. The style just doesn't vibe with me.
Yeah, it's like, they're trying to do, like, the Miles Morales, kinda like the new they're trying to, like, have edgy animation. It was very clearly for kids, and that's fine. It was just like, when He-Man came out, I was like, "Oh, this is just not for me."
Mhm.
Um, I'll have to watch it so I can report on it, but it's now that I'm getting older, I willingly consume a little bit less of stuff that I just know is gonna suck.
Yeah, like, time is so precious. You're just like,
Mhm.
I don't really wanna." That's what happened with me and, the new, Indiana Jones. Like, I started
Yeah.
watching it, like, and then 20 minutes in, I was like, I'm out. Like I just can't. Like no, this isn't
Yeah.
gonna be.
That's a yeah, that's a thing too, even with Lord of the Rings. I mean, it was like, oh, the memes are great, but I'm just like, who's winning here? I'm giving these idiots an hour of my week,
No.
like, and I'm contributing to the ratings, and so it was just kind of like, bless their hearts, the young people that still were consuming it every week,
Mhm.
and creating content around it. But for me, it's just like, oh, okay, it just sucks. They don't care about original Lord of the Rings fans, which is why I wanted to watch it, and I'm just not going to participate.
Yeah. I mean, I participated. I regret that very much because I was reviewing it at the time. But I don't
Yeah,
think I'm gonna participate in season 2. Like I'm out. Like
I'll cover ratings,
sure,
stuff like
yeah. Like
that.
we'll talk about it, but it's like actually spending time to watch the damn thing. It's like nah. I mean, I'm the same thing with this kind of stuff. Like I stopped watching live action Disney films since I think after Maleficent. I was like I'm done. Like I'm done with live action Disney. It's trash. It's just absolute garbage. And I'm certainly not going to pay money to go see it. And they just keep coming out with this kind of stuff, like crap after crap, where your star is literally dissing your movie
Yeah.
and what it's based on. Why do you want me to how do you expect me to pay money to see this? Now this part was interesting to me about the PR
Mm,
because like E E released this originally,
yeah.
and
I'm sure
everybody
they
was
did it just for fun, like.
right. Yeah, and it's funny because it came out and was like, oh, they were kind of portraying it as it's now, but people are saying this is over 2 years old.
Off as
I'm
me
gonna
being
play it.
ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
This
When
was
I
at the
tell
time,
you
yeah.
that it's hard, I just mean to be inside my brain.
It's
That is
weird.
old. That's when she got cast.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
people are saying this is about the Hunger Games, like the prequel that she's talking about.
Oh, that could be. I mean, that's the thing with Twitter nowadays too. Like even when I talked about it in a video, I was like, this is probably old. And then I checked her Instagram. I didn't see anything on there recently. And she also looks younger in that
Mhm.
video.
Yeah,
So
And I'm
yeah.
there
they're
24/7.
there's
I
just
can't
not
get
allowed to
out of
talk
it.
about
As a
it.
huge Disney fan like all of you, this is the biggest
I
dream
love the
come true I could
edits
possibly
too.
imagine for
Yeah.
myself. Thank you all for making it possible and being excited.
Rachel, this is your second film.
I know.
How do you describe that experience?
No, it's so weird.
I like the music. Like I'm so like feel sorry for me.
The luckiest growing up.
Oh,
It
this
is
is
so
the
crazy. I can't
PR
believe-
one.
This is the PR one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh.
So she was a D23 in that first one. That's what I mean. Like, come on. I'm just a huge fan. And then you've done at least no less than 2, possibly 3 interviews where you're like, nah,
Mm-mm.
the prince is creepy. I mean, everyone
Weird
hates this film. Am I
stalker.
right?
Yeah.
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 And then like you had articles like this drop where they're saying branding experts warn Rachel Zegler backlash. Oh my God. Backlash could ruin Disney's big budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to win back fans ahead of the 2024 release. And I'm just sitting here going, but they gave her the notes. Like they told her to say those things. So how
They definitely did. Yeah. They definitely told her, I think she's putting her own flair or spin on it. But I mean, you're right. And that's something that, I think I even need to do better mentioning in my videos when I'm covering it, because this is the same insufferable girl boss rhetoric that we've heard from Disney and Marvel about every female character. It's just with
Forever.
her uniquely Zoomer spin on it. I mean, there was an article in the Atlantic that said something like, it came out yesterday, that was like, I'm sick of Disney feminism or something like that,
yes.
where it's like,
yes.
it's like everyone knows what you're doing. And she was absolutely told to talk about how, bullet point, this isn't a love story.
Mhm.
Bullet point, she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Bullet
Mhm.
point, outdated, updated for a modern audience, this kind of stuff.
The prince is not gonna save her. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All of this. I mean, it was the same kind of crap that the other cast was saying about the Little Mermaid before it was coming out. I mean, months and months I was hearing about how the Little Mermaid's not going to be about her giving up her voice to be the prince and blah 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 and yada yada yada. And it's just like, dude, that is not what that is not what the Little Mermaid was
Yeah.
about.
And they also like hey, shout out Meta PCs in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, promo code the quartering to save. That's right. They got to at least put that in your super chat.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Promo code the quartering. And also I had another one right here for coffee brand coffee. Is there a code for Nina?
No, but there should be.
I think there should be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild that when you've been covering this stuff as long as I have, which is like 50 human years, it's been like 3 years on the internet, but it's different.
It feels longer.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I go back, I'm like, shoot, this is literally the exact same thing I said about Brie Larson. Oh, this is the exact same thing I said about Halle Bailey. Oh, this is the exact same thing. Like they all say the exact same thing. Like women don't need no man. And I think it's
the
also
1937 line, like
that was
this isn't
pre-written.
1937 anymore.
Yeah, right. As in it was as if old is inherently bad.
Right.
They also say things like when they talk about updating for a modern audience, they speak of essentially white males as inherently this thing that needs to be fixed. And now it's actually extending into white females, which is interesting. And it always feels kind of weird to talk about because I'm like, oh, they're erasing white people or something like that. It's like it gets a little spicy to say, but they literally are. I mean, they're recasting white established characters, not existing a new character, but existing white characters, and they're treating it as something that needs to be updated, as there's an inherent issue with it. And it's really bizarre to me when 70% of the people in this country are white, but if you turn on any Hollywood movie, you would think that it's 70% Black people or Asian people, which is not an issue.
You turn any commercial, Jeremy, like
everybody's interracial. Everybody's
interracial. Like no way, nobody else like exists that are white families. That's why a few months ago I saw a movie on Netflix.
If they're white, they're gay, like that. They will have gay men and gay women, but that's if they're
right.
white.
That's why a couple months ago I saw a new comedy out on Netflix with that guy. I forget his name. Oh my God. And it was actually pretty good and funny. And he was in a white couple relationship, non-gay. And I was like, on Netflix, this is wild. Like I've never seen.
That's super rare.
So rare. And it was really, really good too. I was like, this is a good movie. I forget what it's called right now, but it was just a rare incident. And I was like, is this the sign of the times like changing? Like,
no,
this is
it's not. It's literally an outlier. But I think that what often happens, and what I try to coach people up on, is that people will gaslight you and be like, oh, it's a fictional character. Why does that matter? There's two, if I can arm your viewers with some knowledge, when people will gaslight you and call you like all sorts of heinous things just for saying like, hey, wait a minute. As I just watched 7 commercials in a row, and they're literally, there's no white people in commercials. That's on purpose. And there's nothing wrong with natural diversity and having I don't think Black people sell Cheerios any better than white people. They're just like, oh, we have to have a interracial Black couple selling Cheerios now because it's 2000 and current year. I don't know. I suppose market data would suggest that, but I think that it's like if I see an ad for something, I'm like, oh, this person looks like me, so therefore I want to buy this thing. I don't think that way. I think that's way overweighted. Maybe young people are like that, but like
maybe the Zoomers.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh my God, he's Black and he's drinking a sweet new vodka. I'm not gonna drink. I don't relate to a smooth vodka because he's Black. Like I don't. I'm just so beyond that. But there's 2 ways that people will generally react when you say stuff like they'll call you racist, they'll belittle you and say like one of 2 things. What they did is with Star Wars. Oh, you're worried about space wizards. Why? They'll minimize it and say like, What do you care? It's a kid's cartoon. It's a children's cartoon. What are you, some kind of creep?
Mhm.
Okay. If that's true, then why is it so important that they changed it?
Exactly.
Why are they changing it then if it's irrelevant? It's because
Mhm.
it is relevant is why they're changing it.
Yep.
And that's what the left will often do. Oh, you like She-Ra? What, you can't fantasize about
You
her?
you can't
No.
fap to her. That's the other
Yeah, that
thing.
was a
Yeah.
big one with that. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
no, like you literally made it, you denigrated her existing character and put your own gender ideology on that character
Mhm.
for a reason, because it does work. That
Mhm.
stuff does get pushed into the cultural zeitgeist more. If you look at the number of people who are currently identifying as LGBTQ, there was a recent study at an
Mhm.
Ivy League school. If you search like Ivy League percentage LGBTQ, it was like it was like 60%. It was some insanely high percentage. If you look at the rate of the percentage of people who identify as trans in 2023, the numbers are astronomical, and the growth over the last 2 or 3 years is astronomical, and that's because of places like TikTok and other places like that creating lots of incentives to monetize it and do all this kind of stuff. So the culture is important, and people that say it isn't are part of, it's because they know they're trying to silence you, and it's
Mhm.
and again, not that there's anything wrong with being trans, but why it's like a fetish for a
Mm.
lot of these shows. Are like, oh yeah, we got a trans person in the show now, sweet. And it's like they're 0.003% of the population, but go ahead and open TikTok or go ahead and like get on Twitter or modern media, and it's like,
So much more.
15%. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and most people will never even meet a gay person in their life, but it's in like every single TV commercial, every single TV show, it's like it's guaranteed. And it's
Mhm.
like it's if that is not, if there isn't any value for them to decide to do these type of things, then why are they doing it? And I think that I think diversity is obviously something that should come naturally, and that people don't, like, people didn't watch TV in the 90s. Roseanne was one of the most progressive shows I'd ever seen in my life.
Yes.
They had the mom, the grandma was gay, the aunt was gay.
Mhm.
Dan's friends it was like a black guy, an
Black
Asian
dude, yep.
guy, like,
Mhm, yep.
um, and so like you had, and then there are
Dealt
numerous
with
shows
so
like,
much, like, sex, that like, the battle of the sexes stuff and,
yeah,
like, everything like that with Darlene and, like, yeah, I mean, there's
they
just
were
so much
very,
stuff.
yeah, very progressive. Or it's like in video games where they're like, "Oh, it's the first female character." Everyone's like, "Oh," or every time a woman's in a action movie, it's like, "This is the first woman who's totally kicking butt," and everyone's like, "Hmm, well, yeah, okay." There's Ripley. There's the chick from Terminator. There's new. I mean, there's numerous. You could even say Angelina Jolie is Tomb, or was it Angelina Jolie that played Tomb Raider? I don't know,
Yes,
but
yes,
there are numerous
yes.
female characters that are that kick butt,
Mhm.
especially in like 80s movies too. Um, so
Nobody cared. Nobody
nobody
cared back
cared.
then.
Yeah, it
Nobody cared.
was,
I mean, it's been in I mean, we talk about this about Star Trek. I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan, but
yeah,
we talked about this
TGN, but
about
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, like, I mean, TGN's a perfect example, but it's just
they're
there's
the
been so
first
much
interracial kiss.
diversity. Yep.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
they've done so much diversity in Star Trek for so long, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Now we have the first, like, Black woman, blah, blah, blah," and I'm just like, "Ok okay,
Yeah, I feel
it's
like
been
I've seen
done.
all of this
It's
before.
been done."
Yeah, and the ultimate thing is, like Jane Theory in chat writes correctly, no one
Mhm.
cared because the stories were good. Like, I never
Exactly.
watched Roseanne, I was like, "Ooh, a dark person. Ooh, a gay." I never was, and I was young then too, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Okay, well, cool, whatever." Like, I didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to see black people. I
Mhm.
watched it because it was a good show, and I thought, and it also taught a lot of life lessons, a very wholesome show. And like,
Hey, that
then
episode about driving by while black, that taught me stuff,
that
man.
was
I was like,
real,
that
yeah,
was a
where the
real episode. That was good. That was a good episode. Back in the day too. Like
that one, even, yeah, that one, or when the one where Will's dad, his absentee father, shows up and then
Mhm.
says he's gonna come pick him up the next day, and then like Uncle Phil, like he has a whole, that was very powerful stuff like that. The amphetamines, when they call Carlton, and they call him a sellout in the show, but really it'd be like calling a black, questioning his blackness. which is like a
Mhm.
real issue in that community. There's lots of stuff like that that was enjoyed. By the way, I know this may shock modern journalists, mostly by white people. Mostly white people watch The Fresh Prince of
Yep.
Bel-Air. Mostly white. It's just a statistic thing. So the idea that diversity is this thing that had to be fixed immediately is completely fabricated.
100% fabricated. And I think one of the other points too to make is that a lot of these very racist companies, but I have no doubt that, you know, Disney is racist, and they use these people to prop up their basically failing shows so that they can be like, oh, we're just gonna use this as a shield. Like, we're gonna use this individual as a shield because we know our stuff is gonna suck. They're pulling at producers all the time. Like, they make
Yeah.
content that is going to fail so that they can make money anyway. And then they're using these castings so that they can blame everybody else for their major fails once that happens. Jane Theory also writes for $5, erasing white characters, and let's not forget emasculating black male characters and masculinizing black female characters. I feel like it's masculinizing any female character at this point. Like, I mean, literally like every single woman female character I see is somehow a man. Like, I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw the trailer for the new Gal Gadot movie
It looks
on
terrible.
Netflix.
Yeah,
It
it looks
looks
terrible.
awful. I'm like, she's
Yeah.
basically a man. Like, that is like a man's movie.
How about look
dressed-
at the Equalizer with like a 70-year-old Queen Latifah freaking roundhouse
watch it.
kicking. She's like literally roundhouse kicking, you know, guys who are like 225, built solid muscle, kicking them through walls and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Mhm.
can we just not? If you want to have Queen Latifah being like Equalizer, have her use what her brain or weapons or something. No, she's got to be an unstoppable girl boss that can defeat men in hand-to-hand combat, which is like so dumb. And it's like people watch that stuff and they seal clap and they're like, look, I can suspend. I think suspending belief for a while is fine and it works. Especially when you have like, I mean, look, you want to do that in the Marvel movie, just give him a superpower. Super easy. You want me to say you want to have Brie Larson be able to fight with Thanos? Great. Make her use the Power Stone or whatever. Like, that actually was an example, I think, of good writing where you made a female character who was like just that part. I think her character is written poorly overall, but it was like, okay, at least then I'm like, okay, well, they just made a reason why she could punch him across the screen. Is because, you know, so it's so simple to just write that in, but people are too lazy.
Way too lazy. And now they want more money for
They're not going to, what this is, by the way, I know we will probably move on to the next topic, but it's interesting if you start looking at this SAG and actor strike. The actors, I think, reluctantly joined, but it's not about money, in my opinion. It is about artificial intelligence. It's that
I think so too.
They know in 3 years, I mean, it could be a year, that 80% of the scripts can be look at how formulaic Marvel is. I bet you AI could already write a pretty close proximity. And it's expanding so rapidly that like in 6 months, this is going to change everything. It's going to be bigger than the desktop computer where it put all these people out of work. AI is going to be able to write these scripts, and they know that. All those writers know that. And that's what they're really, because they have in their demands, like they must say they can't use AI. And they're like, yeah, right.
Well, the voice actors too. Have you heard about like the gripe that they got? I mean, and that's legit concerns about what they're doing with the voice actor voices and everything like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
man.
all going to be digitized. I literally just watched the last season of Black Mirror, and it was hit or miss, just like always. But the last episode's called like Jane is Awful. And essentially is like, people had already signed off like their digital likenesses and stuff. So Netflix,
it's about Jane Theory, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But it was like they call it Streamberry, but it's really Netflix. They were like AI generating content of real people in real time. And I was like, like there's a lot of times that Black Mirror kind of gets it right. And I was like, they're not that far off from that. if we go 5 years into the future, they'll be able to do that. And I think in the
Mhm.
next 6 months, they'll be able to write scripts all day long with AI.
And edit them too. Like I mean, if
Yeah.
there's already AI editors and everything like that. I mean, it's just it's definitely a crazy time. I mean, of course, you're still going to need some human
Yeah, you'll go
intervention
from
and supervision, but like
you'll go
it's
from 20 to 2.
yeah,
That's what'll happen. You have 15, 20 writers in a room, there'll be 2
exactly.
left.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it is a crazy time to be alive, and especially with this whole AI stuff. Like this is the next thing. Now, speaking of AI, and I know, you are, well, you're a big fan of Elon, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I have a love-hate relationship with that dude. I don't know what to think of him some days, especially with the neural net. Like, I'm not down with that
a lot of
whole
people are very
situation.
concerned about that. I understand why. Skynet is a thing, and
Yep. Yes, it is. Yep, yep.
yeah. So I understand.
Yeah. So my question to you is because I know like you're very vocal about what's going on Twitter with regards to the new ad revenues and everything like
Mhm.
that, and how basically a lot of people are kind of like content stealing. And I know you have been a victim of that because people take your stuff all the time and
Yeah.
re-upload it without
Mhm.
giving you credit, and then they're getting basically the interactions, which is kind of like the same thing as a view. For those of you who don't use Twitter or X or whatever, it's a view on YouTube is the same thing as an interaction on Twitter. So and I guess that's my question, because I've seen literally from when he started that, there's so many, first of all, re-uploads of old videos, of old content just coming out like left and right.
Yep.
Twitter's just become like insanely like kind of like it's become like a tabloid, really, because you're shifting through, you already were shifting through so much lies and deceit and crap anyways, but now it's just like, oh, like old 5-year-old videos are resurfacing all of a sudden, like this whole Rachel Zegler thing. Like
Yeah.
that's not new. It's like, here we go. Like, I just want to get paid, so I'm re-uploading all the stuff. So I guess my question to you is, what are your suggestions into improving this algorithm and making it a little bit better?
Well, I think the big thing will to have a content ID system,
Mhm.
which will then open the door to all the same problems that we have on YouTube with people
On YouTube.
abusing it.
Mhm.
But I mean, freebooting is not a new problem. Guys like Joey Salads way back in the day, all these people got famous just stealing freebooting content and re-uploading it to Twitter. I'm sorry, Facebook then. And
Mhm.
now Twitter is a complete hellscape where every post is a freaking question.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, whoa, what would here's a hot chick with a pistol in her short shorts. She shows up to your date. What would you do? I'm like, oh my God. And like it's just engagement farming. Then you
Totally.
have and then you have like the other side of people where like Elon's little buddies, I won't name any names, but everyone already knows I'm pretty public about who I know is taking part in this stuff.
Mhm.
All they do is steal other people's videos and they're just re-upload it with no context. Now, if
Mhm.
they're taking a clip from CNBC to share a news clip or whatever, that's fine. But what a lot of these scum will do is go and crop out watermarks, which is what they do to my editors all the
Mhm.
time. They'll
Mhm.
crop out the watermark and re-upload it wholesale, which was bad enough, and now they're making money off of it.
Yeah.
My guys' memes get stolen all the time. Like nobody's re-uploading my 10-minute video. I don't care about that. But what I
Mhm.
care about is like I pay my editors. My editors cost me more than 10 grand a month. So
Mhm.
it's like it's a lot of money that I'm investing, and not only are you stealing from them, but you're stealing from me, and now you're making money. Now I usually with my editors, I let them upload their own memes. I'm not like these are mine. You can't upload them. Even though I'd have every
That's
right to do
nice of
that. 'Cause
you.
that's
Yeah,
but, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, it's my property. They did it for me,
it
but I
is.
don't
Yeah.
care. I want them to build and whatever. But they're so busy they don't even really do that anymore. But I'm saying like I spend a lot of money,
You're
hiring talent
investing
to
in it.
create those. Yeah, and then when
Yeah.
people steal it, and then it's really scummy when they crop your freaking watermark out too.
Yeah.
There's also like I
I've
also
seen
think
it
it's
happen to John Talks. Like I know I'm good buddies with
yeah,
John Talks, and people
mhm,
steal because he makes short content anyway, especially like recently in the recent
yeah.
years. He makes a 30-second like kind of like meme like
Mhm.
memeing the whatever. People take his videos all the time, just upload it, no problem, nothing. No
Yeah.
shout out, no, this is from John Talks, no nothing. And it's just
And it would be
it's
so easy to
funny.
at least give credit. It would
Yeah.
be, and now that you've monetized it, it's made it really, really insufferable. I mentioned on my stream this morning, I'm just gonna hire somebody, some like Pakistani bot for
Mhm.
like 200 American a month to follow these 10 Twitter accounts that are doing it and then just repost it to my Twitter account. Because
Mm.
if they're making, these people are getting $5,000 to $10,000 a month,
Mhm.
um, you're gonna see there's going to be problems with that because the people that are getting ganked are going to not, and I'm not talking about individual creators. I'm talking about like CNN clips and MSNBC clips and music, songs. I mean, there's
Mhm.
been several instances where entire Hollywood films are uploaded to Twitter the
Yeah,
day it's
I
out. The
saw
Barbie
that.
movie was out. The Barbie,
Yeah.
Oppenheimer was up there. It's like
It's
Twitter's gonna get
crazy.
sued. Yeah, and then some of
Yeah.
this, I think somebody did like Into the Spider-Verse, and it had like freaking 30 million views. And I was like, no, that's impressions. So maybe it's like 5, 10 million views. Warner Brothers is gonna see that and say, well, that's
Yeah.
5 million tickets that you stole from us, even though that's not how
Exactly.
pirating works. But they'll so that's what's on the horizon for Elon now that he's put money into it and he's monetized it, because people who are making money off it now, they are suable. I mean, stealing it
Because
and
now there's
re-uploading it.
damages. Now there's damages. Now you're getting damaged, and
Exactly.
now you're able to open yourself up to all sorts of suits. Kind of like what's happening with the whole Netflix documentary with
Nice
Johnny Depp and
transition.
Amber Heard. That was that. Thank
I see
you.
you. You were yeah, that
Thanks.
was Nina's transitioning, but that was good. Yeah, that was
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
I'm learning, Jeremy. I've watched your content enough to, pick up a couple tips here and there,
Yeah. Well, you gotta transition to an ad read. Then
Uh,
you'll get really good.
I know
Yeah.
one of these days that's gonna
Mhm.
happen for sure.
Yes.
Maybe it'll be coffee brand coffee.
Yeah, it could
Oh
be.
my God. But yeah, so it's happening also with Netflix, a new documentary with for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, because I watched the first episode last night, and the first episode started with DUI guy. Like literally was like the first scene that you see was DUI guy. And then they mentioned Nick, they mentioned Andy Signor, and they mentioned I forget what her name is, the girl with the purple hair, Emily Baker. And
Yeah.
they mentioned so many other people. Some people I didn't even know. Mind you, they do give credit to their YouTube names, and like they have their channels posted and
Mhm.
everything. But as far as I know, and I know for a fact that Tug hasn't gotten paid, but as far as I know, nobody else was until I read this tweet from Larry, which is the DUI guy, and it says it appears that Netflix special uses content from Ian Runkles, Andy Signal, Ricada Ra, Ricada Law. This person, I don't know who, Andrea, I guess, Emily Baker, lawyer, Darth News, and myself, to name a few. From what I've learned the past few hours, I'm one of the only creators who was paid by Channel 4 for usage of my content. If your likeness has been used in the documentary and you have not received compensation for it and you would like to, I know the proper channels to go through to request that you be compensated. If
Mm.
that is your desired course of action, I'm happy to volunteer to draft them a lovely email and negotiate on your behalf. You may reply to this tweet, or you may have DM me directly. You may also email me, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that's the thing. But also at the same time, Andy Signor uploaded this tweet where he was saying that he got hit for reviewing the actual thing he's on. So he's like, I made a video breaking down the full story of the Netflix illegally stealing our footage during and after the Johnny Depp trial without any commentary or parody. And they just did it again. Team YouTube, they're abusing the copyright system. So he is pissed off. Like this dude is
Mm.
pissed off. And I just think this whole thing is very interesting. I don't know if there's going to be, I mean, possibly a class action if nobody else got paid. I mean, they could maybe go on in on it, but then again, you would have to prove losses, and I don't know if you can prove losses with something like this.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of respect for Andy's coverage on this. But he's just, he's 100% wrong here. Netflix doesn't have to pay you. They probably did to avoid any kind of thing, but when you look at the licensing for content, where it gets dicey is when Netflix, when you look at the types of licenses for content that you have.
Mhm.
For example, you can have fair use content with the subset, which is most often fair use non-commercial, so that like musicians will put their music out there and you can use it, but you can't use it to make money. You can't use it on monetized videos. You can't use it or they'll say fair use with attribution.
Mhm.
Well, if you're not licensing your own content, which nobody is on YouTube, I imagine, unless they're huge creators, paying
Sure.
to have, to actually copyright your content and do this kind of stuff, there's literally nothing they can do.
Mhm.
Andy saying, what's funny, it is ironic that he can't. By the way, in my experience, also, this is one of the things that I've learned over the years. Like if you follow me for any amount of time, I dispute everything. I've disputed every single copyright claim that has ever been put on my videos, and I have, I don't know, 700,000 of them now, and I've never lost
Mhm.
once.
Wow.
So I think that if Andy would just counterclaim this instead of, I get it, he's getting content, but like spazzing out on Twitter,
He's
like,
content farming on here.
I know I would do it too, but I mean, if he
His
just
channel's
says,
under attack, Jeremy.
I know,
God, have some
I know.
empathy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I get it. It's part of the game. I do it too, but I 100% guarantee you, if he submits a counterclaim to this and says that it's fair use, it will be. It's ironic, but the difference is Netflix's content is hidden behind a paywall. It is not free to view.
No.
Andy Signor's content is free to view on all
That's
platforms.
true. That's true.
And also, I'm just going to lawyer it up for Andy right here. He would lose terribly in court because if anybody's doing damages, so one of the things you look at, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but I've been covering fair use lawsuits long enough. Does it replace your content?
Mhm.
Does a Netflix documentary using 30-second clip or a 2-minute clip of your video replace the value of your video? And the answer is no. However, does somebody watching a Netflix documentary on a live stream replace paying for it? It actually does. So when you're talking about content that's behind paywalls, I don't know how much he watched. Maybe he just showed his little clip. I don't know if he streamed the whole
On
thing.
the first episode, it showed, like, for Andy, it showed like a couple of clips of him. It was maybe about 12 to 15 seconds, maximum
Okay.
20 seconds long. Like, because they were just showing clips of basically like everybody, like people who were covering it. I mean, this other guy got way more. This other dude that was talking to him, the other guy, Darth News, like he was way in it way more in the first episode. Anyway, there's 3 episodes. I haven't watched the other 2
Yeah,
yet.
I can't imagine. I just can't with Johnny Depp and her anymore. But I think, it may feel unfair. And if the DUI guy Darth News, what's his actual at?
I'll tell you right now. It was on. It's at Darth_news.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's
It's this guy right here.
yeah, I got him. He follows me. Okay. So yeah, again with him, I'll have to say, have to look at it and figure out like, wait, did he post on the Twitter? I only see his active was like back in April. Do you have it up? Sorry.
No. It's in April. He was just tagged on the tweet. Like he was just tagged by Larry because he was in the thing. So like he was in the doc.
Oh, okay. But you were saying he got hit more?
No. I'm just saying he was like in it more. Like he was in it
they
more.
used
So
more
I
of
don't
his
know.
stuff.
Yeah, they used more of his
okay.
stuff than I saw of Andy's. Andy's, they actually used a very small portion compared to like Darth and DUI guy. But DUI guy was apparently gotten paid. So I mean, same with Nick Rekieta. It was only very small bit.
Well, Nick said, did he confirm that he got paid? Because he said, I haven't been sure.
He said he's not sure. Like he responded to Larry, the DUI guy, and he said, like, I may have been paid. I need to check into it.
No, that means he got
footage.
Paid.
I'll keep you updated. So that's lawyer talk for yes, I probably got paid.
Of course. You know why you got paid? Because if if you got paid, you sent him your PayPal or your bank account information. Either you sent that stuff to him, or if you or you didn't. You didn't just get a check in the mail. That's not how it works. And I love Nick. I get it. He may just not want to create issues between other
Sure.
content creators, but
Sure.
also Nick's a lawyer. And you know, when you email and you say, I'm a lawyer, I can make this very expensive. It's just like the stuff. The process is the punishment. That's a common phrase right now that people are talking about all these indictments. Essentially, any lawsuit, you know, the amount of money that you spend in court is like, you know, it's going to dwarf paying these guys $2,000 to go away, or $1,500 to go away, or whatever the case is. But it does suck that Netflix ganked it. And it's not a documentary about the YouTubers. They're just using it as free B-roll to
really
extend
is
their
like
stuff. Yeah.
you gotta watch it, man. It's wild because it's literally a documentary about the coverage of the trial by YouTubers. It's like that's what the thing is actually about. It's not about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's about
That's
the
so
coverage of it.
weird.
It's really strange. Like it's one of the most strange documentaries I've ever seen because I'm just like, this is basically a documentary about YouTube coverage and the coverage that this very, very public trial received. It doesn't add anything new to the actual case or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
can't
covering that.
I can't with I got so burnt out on it. Like I really
Yeah.
I'm really happy that we got to see like LawTube kind of with Kyle Rittenhouse first, where they became this thing. I remember going on some of Nick's streams when there was like freaking 100,000 people on there.
Yup, I
And
remember.
like, yeah, and they changed the game. Like, and now, you know, and anytime
did.
there's a trial and now people are watching it on YouTube instead of like, I think that's a cool story to tell. But of
I
course,
think
then the
Kyle
media is
Rittenhouse
worried.
would have been a better documentary, to be completely honest with you. I mean, it's a way better story than, you know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and the trial coverage for that was what set off the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing too. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
just
but
that.
400-pound, you know, women sitting at home all day watching the trial was, you know, and apparently full-grown men. You know,
Yeah.
I think that like, you know, I got to a point, and again, I've been in this game a long time. I 100% respect everyone's hustle. I'm just speaking for me. I was like, oh my God, they're both terrible people. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like the narrative
They
that some of
weren't
them were
in a
putting out
toxic
there.
relationship.
Right. Like has none of these people like who are so enamored with it ever seen two friends who are like they'll get hammered and then then they'll hook up and have incredible makeup sex and they'll get hammered and fight. Like I've seen this in my life before.
Yeah.
And like I was eventually just like, I don't care. Like they're
Yeah, and
both
they're like
terrible.
they're off and on. Like it's like one day
Yeah.
they're on, one day they're
Oh, you
off.
together
one day they're on
again?
again.
Oh, I
Oh
didn't.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't say anything when they're on, and you can't say anything when they're off because you know they're gonna get back together, and you're like, oh my God, just stop.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, you know, many friends participate in these type of relationships, and the only thing that's different is that they're rich. And
Yeah,
you know,
like
I
mega
think
stars.
yeah, I think that it got really annoying. This will nice transition perhaps into the
next
Britney
topic.
thing, but
Yes.
I got you know, I've started pushing back a little bit more against, you know, I saw it really with that narrative where it's like, oh my
Mhm.
God, you know, Amber Heard, yes. Is she an unlikable shrew?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Very unlikable. Johnny Depp's way more likable. But this coverage morphed into this thing where like Johnny Depp was a freaking godlike feature, a godlike thing that people were literally worshiping. And if you said, hey, maybe, you know, you're probably in kind of a toxic relationship, they'd be like, well, how dare you? It was
Yeah.
all Amber's fault. She's the devil. And I'm like, dude, the guy's got a huge drinking problem. He's got a drug problem. And he is well documented.
He just
And
didn't beat women. That was the only thing.
I
was
believe he
like,
did not beat them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
he
don't
didn't.
think he beat women. That was the only thing that was just like, you know, and she just became this insane person because she took away from actual abuse victims and she took a dump on his bed. I mean, come on, like that's pretty fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
the grumpy on the bed was a wild turn. But yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Like after I kind of stopped covering it because I was like, how many times do I have to say these are both awful people?
Yeah.
with their own demons, except he did not. He didn't hit her. There was no evidence
No.
he hit
He
her.
didn't hit her.
She
Or
and
any
then,
other woman. That's why all his exes were like, nah, he never abused us. Like, it's just basically that's what he was saying. It's like, I've never beat any women. Like, that's
yeah,
not
I've
not
known
who I
plenty of
am.
guys who get hammered and never put a hand on them. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
Well, look at that. Someone gifted 10
Yeah, actually, it's
membership.
this person right here, Valkyria Winter. Thank you so
Ah.
much for the gifted 10 memberships to the chat. Thank you so much. And says, Hail 199 and Scout, and love you both indeed. Thank you so much. And thank you for the love of the chat and giving everybody a membership. That is
That
very
was
kind
cool.
of you.
Yeah.
So the next topic is some e-drama. Look, I'm a girl. I like drama. I like celebrities. I like celebrity gossip. And now the new celebrity gossip is basically YouTube people and YouTube drama. And it's always funny to me. Like, to some extent, I'm like, hey, this is funny. I'm going to bust out the popcorn and I'm going to enjoy myself. But
I love it. I'm not above it at all.
Yeah,
I've had to actually start, like, I used to make more videos on it, and then like people be like, oh, this is so pointless drama. But people are also super sensitive and they call everything drama when it's not. Like, it's like there's some serious stuff going on here. There's a real, and then it's usually when it's about somebody they like.
Sure. And everyone's a grifter, like everybody.
You're grifting on this. I have a lot of fans of particular individuals involved in this on both sides, and I was thoroughly entertained. And then people are like, "Oh, this is just stupid drama. Why are you getting involved in this?" I'm like, "Bro, it's you wouldn't
It's
be calling
funny.
it drama if it happened to a feminist. You would be like, dude, you gotta make 100 videos about this. And Anita Sarkeesian got caught, like." So I know I've been doing this long enough. I'm like, nah, dude, you're just butthurt because this is somebody that you like. But it's hilarious.
It is. It is so funny. And by the way, over on Rumble, I got a couple Rumble rants. One of them was for $1 that said coffee brand coffee. Just that's it.
Shout out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And there was another one for $2 that says from Chicago Faucet, the issue of Batman and the horror movie that AI wrote are hilarious though. And yeah, I mean, some of the AI stuff is really funny. But okay, to Rollo. First of all, I didn't know who this Rollo Tanasi person was. I had no idea because I'm Jeremy, I've been married for over 20 years. I didn't even know about the manosphere. Yeah. I've been with the same dude for over 20 years. I don't need to know about dating life. Like, I really didn't care about the manosphere. I know. I hope I never do either.
I see what, shout out to the single people out there.
Yeah.
It looks like an unnavigatable hellscape.
It really does. So
if
that's why I'm like
single. That's it. I'm gonna buy. We're already on like these AI sex bots. I'll be good. Like, I'll get one of those, and Amazon delivers everything else I need. I'm out. I'm not dating ever.
I don't think I'm ever gonna date either. I'm like, once I'm like, if something happens and I'm in, like, God forbid something happens. It's just like, basically, I basically told him, like, I'm never getting remarried again. I'm basically done. I'm gonna be the single, like, crazy cat lady, but like the crazy animal lady, like, because I'm gonna have just like dogs, cats, horses, like fucking farm animals, like everywhere. That's gonna be me, and I'm totally fine with it. But this dude, this Rollo Tomasi, he's like apparently the father of the manosphere, and he's this dude that's just like, yeah, like I'm like the pimp, and I'm so great at manosphere stuff and telling everybody what to do, and I charge $1,000 an hour to talk to you one-on-one because I'm the best, I'm the shit. I had no idea who he was, but apparently he's written 5 books of helping men. I think this whole helping men situation is a grift on its own, like kind of like what's going on with Jack Murphy and everybody else. I think this whole weird movement has been corrupted, just like feminism has and was, to have bad people in there to lead people astray. That's my personal viewpoint of it. But this whole scenario, though, was very interesting because Lauren Southern and Brittany Venti, this dude, Rollo Tomasi, was talking a lot about them and just going on and on about rumors. Like,
by the way,
rumors
speaking of drama, this is a 50-60-year-old man who's been obsessed about who Lauren Southern has sex with. Like,
yes.
Like,
yes. Like a literal drama queen.
Yeah, anybody that was like I have a lot look, and I want to say, first of all, on the manosphere grift thing, if they cared about helping you, the manosphere, if they were any good at it, it wouldn't be growing. It is
Mm,
my opinion that people like Pearl and Fresh and Fit and others, they are not interested in helping men. The longer they keep you unhappy, the more you super chat them. The
yep.
more what they are there to do is to give their viewers a self-fulfilling prophecy that it
Hmm.
is not their fault, that it's
Yep.
women's fault, and that if they just, if they, if they're just hopeless and they should just bring on more OnlyFans girls, like the whatever podcast, right? Like they bring on
Hmm.
these, and then what I always think is hilarious is that there's been a couple of those girls. You look at every super chat, oh, it's a hoe, or it's a 304, whatever they call them, this, that, and the other
Hmm.
thing, and then they'll show like, oh, I gained like 1,800 members to my OnlyFans
Hmm.
because these viewers are like lonely guys, and they just need direction, but they don't want tough love. They want someone to tell them that it's someone else's fault, and that's I have a personal vendetta, and it's not everyone in the manosphere.
No,
I don't
no.
love that name, but it's not everyone. It's a manosphere, the red pill. I don't care
Hmm.
what you call it. It's not everybody, but
No.
I have a huge problem with like you have that maybe one of the most unattractive women on the planet in Pearl saying
Yeah.
that women shouldn't vote and all that. It's like she's just pandering to, and I'm sorry to say the terminology, but literal incels.
Yeah.
And like they're like, no, Jeremy, see, a woman says all women are terrible. See,
Yeah.
she knows.
She
Maybe
does like literal content farming too. Like she puts like, Margot Robbie 25 to Margot Robbie
yeah.
35, like, that kind of stuff too. Like she's literally doing the impression farming, and she literally tweets out stuff she knows is going to get like just insanely spicy stuff that I don't
She's
even
not
think she
stupid.
thinks. I don't
Yeah,
think
I don't
she's
think so
stupid.
either.
No.
I think she's unattractive and undateable, but I don't think I also think people should look into her and look who her parents are and how much money they have.
They
I
have a
mean,
lot of
this
money.
woman is independently wealthy and
Mhm. But she
can't
talks
find the
about how her daddy takes care of her finances, Jeremy, because
everything. Yeah.
no woman should be touching the
Who could
bank.
even possibly figure it out? The yeah, and it's again, like my problem is, I don't love OnlyFans, but I as I've grown older, like I don't really find much value in dunking on OnlyFans girls
Sure.
because it's the guy I'm trying to tell the guys like, bro, she doesn't love you. Don't give her your
Mhm.
money. It's the
Mhm.
same thing with these people. They don't want um they don't want to fix men because then they would lose their cash flow. It's
Yep.
just if you just look at what motivates them, if they really believe that, then ideally they would have zero audience at some point.
It's exactly kind of like the big pharmaceutical companies, and I'm not going to go too much into it because we're on YouTube, but they're in the
Yeah.
business of keeping you sick. That's
Right.
basically
Yeah.
it,
Right.
because they want to keep you sick so that they can provide you with the medicine that you need. That is what they're in the business of doing, and it's the same thing that follows over with this manosphere, feminism, all
Feminism
these,
was the same way. Yeah.
all of it,
Modern
all of these
feminism. Yeah.
big, exactly, modern
You should
feminism,
get
all that
fat,
stuff.
stop shaving your armpits because the man wants you to do that. And then what happens is the women buy into it, and then there's these like
Yep.
fat pigs with like hairy armpits, and like because someone told them that it was empowering, and then they're single, and
Hmm.
they're like, why won't men date me? And then they get into that same thing. Well, it's men's
Hmm.
fault. They have
Never
unrealistic
ending cycle.
standards. Yeah, and so
Exactly.
they keep them on that treadmill of self-fulfilling prophecies and rage.
Mhm.
And that's where you end up like I've never seen a good looking like there's a reason that the trope of like these SJWs, which people don't really say that anymore these days, but
Mhm.
like they were all gross. They're all like sweaty and they had
Yeah.
their hair, they look like they hadn't showered. And it was like, gee, I wonder why no one will sleep with you. I wonder why no one will wife you up. You don't even
Yeah.
wear deodorant. And you're like, yeah, stick it to the man. I'm smelly and hairy and greasy. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool if you want to live your life that way, but then I better not see you online having a
Yeah.
meltdown that men, can't handle all this or men can't this or that.
It's the funniest thing too is that like Brittany Venti exposed Pearl as well. Like,
Yeah.
so I had no idea who Pearl was until I watched the Brittany Venti video, and she's just really good. Like I'm telling you guys, like I know if you don't like drama, like that's fine. But if
Mm.
you do, Brittany Venti does great content for this kind of stuff because it's very well researched and she goes deep into all of these people's history, all the what they've said in the past, all of the clips. She usually shows a lot of receipts, and she did with Rolo. And we're not going to really talk about that video. If you guys are interested, go and check out Brittany Venti's video. She's done 2 so far and a live stream follow-up. And I'm sure she's going to do more because Rolo responded to her video. And what happened was he went on some live stream of some guy named Undead Chronic, who, by the way, is apparently a Brittany Venti detractor, like used to be a fan of hers,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
now he doesn't
He
like
hates
her
her.
anymore. So I guess like he basically at the beginning of this video said, I don't give a shit as long as Britney's getting taken down. I don't care who's right. I'm just gonna side with Rolo because he's taking Brittany Venti down. So it just shows what
You
kind
could
of person
also
this
you could have also said, "Hey everyone, she lives rent free in my head." You know,
right.
like
Mhm.
that's like just hey everyone, I'm gonna I'm obsessed with this woman on the internet, and she rules my thought process.
Yeah, 100%. And then so what happened was actually on Flashcast, somebody brought this up on the Rumble end of it, of this stream, and being like, yeah, Brittany Venti's a grifter, and like, they came out with this, and Rolo went on this guy's live stream and told us everything, and all the truth is out now. She's such a grifter, liar, blah blah blah. And Raging Rhino and Tom from Midnight's on there, and they were like, well, what do you and that Star Wars girl, and they were like, well, what do you did he have receipts? Like, did he show any receipts? Buddy, this is the stream that they're talking about. They're not even on camera. Like the guy just is like talking
Yeah.
vocal. There is no receipts, there's no screen share.
She-
There's just they're not even on the screen.
By the way, hold on one second. By the way, I've got nothing against Undead Chronic. I don't really, our passive,
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say, hey, he's grifting off and making some money. Good for him.
Mhm.
But Rolo did a 4-hour and 20 some minute live stream
Mhm. I
about
think he showed up about an hour into it, so 3 hours.
okay, well, 3-hour live stream on 2 teenage girls that he says are just drama queens and totally aren't in his head. Like that's, I understand the content game. That's why I'm like, hey, Undead Chronic, I hope we got a bunch of super chats or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's just so obvious. It's like, bro, he's pushing 60. He's wearing like a knit wool cap to hide the fact that he's bald. And like, look, and by the way, bald is beautiful, homie. I don't care. And I'm not, and the guy's in good physical condition. He takes care of himself. It's just all so sad that, just to not to bury the lead, essentially he ends up asking for Brittany Venti's nudes,
Mhm.
or like,
No, please explain more about what happened, because that's all I got for.
okay, so
Yeah.
I'll distill it down to the 2 biggest owns. That
Okay.
essentially Lauren Southern and Brittany Venti did some bimbo ops where they sent emails to Rollo as posing as a hater of each individual. So
Mhm.
Lauren sent one hating on Lauren, saying I have all this dirt. Brittany sent one on Brittany saying I have all this dirt. And he
Mhm.
fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
He repeated every lie that was in those emails, completely unvented, unvented. He and in Lauren's email, it was like, I know she's pregnant. I have proof. He kept saying, I have proof she aborted the baby, all this stuff. The proof he had was some random sonogram that an
Mhm.
anon emailed him in a Proton mail address. He never followed up. He didn't care if it was true or not because he was so obsessed. So it was like, that was embarrassing. And
Mhm.
then with Brittany, again, he went on this whole live stream, like fart sniffing, like, I got her, I got her. And then like, he just got completely, I haven't seen how he reacted. I would hope that he would just be like, holy crap, they got me, and just accept it, because there's no coming back. And then
He did not. He did
of
not
course he didn't.
accept
Yeah.
it. And this is the
You gotta
live stream
take
that
the
he's
L.
doing. And the
Yeah.
funniest part is like basically, first of all, I'm not even like obviously we're not gonna play most of this. I'm just gonna play
Yeah.
this one part because I think it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
But basically, the long story short of what this is about is the fact that he's saying that he still believes he's still gossip girling over there, like gossip grandpa. And he's like, I know Lauren Southern Destiny banged. I just know it. Like, and he just
And
goes
who the
on and
hell
on.
cares? Yeah, it's
Nobody
so
gives a shit.
cringe. So Destiny, whom I do not like, I don't care. I don't
Nobody
care.
cares.
He's in some sort of open relationship with this girl.
Yeah.
That's cool. You do you. That's fine.
Mhm.
But whether or not him and Lauren Southern slept together is like the cringest shopping cart checkout aisle tabloid for a 60-year-old man.
Mhm.
Before you play the clip, the best part about it is so Brittany, as the detractor, said, "Oh, and her nudes are out there." I just
Mhm.
remember watching Rolo's clip. He said he had them. He
Mhm.
said I have them, and they're full on nudes.
Yeah, he
And
said
then
that.
yeah,
He did.
and I was like, ugh, why? Who says that? No, they're full on. Like you could see her bush and her pussy and everything. Like it was just so cringy. And then he's like,
It's so cringe.
ew, not that I want to see them anyway, except he repeatedly asked for the nudes to be sent to him in the email
Yep.
chain. He
Yep,
didn't
like 3
y-
times.
yeah, and it was baited, it was put in there. Like, oh yeah, I happen to know she also, and he, of course, he fixated on that. Look,
Yeah.
I like boobs too. I'm not gonna but you're a 60-year-old man's man who's married. You shouldn't be asking about some e-girl's titty pics. Like
Apparently
that
he
is
called the cops
that's
on her.
well, then that was like I mean, as if he could not own himself even more. He's like, they tried to entrap me with underage pictures. Like,
Yep.
dude, like, do you think that erases the fact that you asked for them?
You
Hey,
asked for them. You
yeah, you
wanted
asked for
it.
them. Yeah. And you're like, oh, if you got one of the lines was so cringe, like a crack addict, like, hey, if you got any of
If
those
you still
nudes
got
laying
'em.
around,
Yeah,
it'd be a good ace
yeah.
in the hole for me. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like,
It was
gross.
so cringe. Like, it's like
Yeah.
you like he wants to get like he wanted the nudes. It's like the
He
nudes didn't
needed them.
exist, but
Yeah.
he wanted them. Like he was like, "He please, like that could really be an ace in the hole for me." But
Like,
now,
for what? For
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Jerking off to? Yeah, like,
So you could be like, "Oh, she claims she's a trad wife or whatever, or she's a trad person."
oh yeah,
but
he was
like,
gonna expose her
but
for that.
yeah, but like but she's actually not. But now, so on this live stream though, what he's saying is that the troll didn't work for them because what they were trying to technically do was get him to not the word I was gonna say perjure himself, but that's wrong. It's they were trying to get him to like incriminate himself by releasing HEPA, like by getting caught about HEPA because he was gonna
Oh,
release
that's not true at all.
yeah, like he was
Yeah.
going to release like the
HIPAA
medical
laws,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
That's not what they were trying
of
to
Lauren
do.
Southern.
They were
I know
trying to
that's not what I'm
humiliate.
trying to do, but
They're
that's what
trying.
he says that they're trying to do.
No, they were trying to humiliate him, and it worked. And
Yeah,
like,
and he's
I don't have anything personal against Rollo. On the list of like people in the manosphere that are doing active harm, he's not even on my radar. I don't
Mhm.
have anything against him. I know he felt pretty sad when I was like memeing on him over it. He tweeted to me and like he's like, "Oh, buddy, I liked you. Why are you making fun of me?" I'm like, "Dude, like,
'Cause
I
he got
mean, this is
trolled,
too.
man.
You
That's
got
funny.
like in
Yeah.
the most hilarious, full on receded way I've ever seen in my life."
It was
And
master level trolling. Like Brittany is
yeah,
like she's reached like the ultimate tier trolling. Like I don't think that I love when she like changed her outfit and she's like, "You got," and the Oscar
yeah,
goes to. I was like, I'm dying. Like this girl, she's just putting on a show and it's
yeah.
freaking amazing. But okay, so this is gonna get real funny here. All right, this is who Rolo's gonna blame next.
But as you guys are talking about this, I'm thinking all these women are doing is getting you to play defense. You got to play offense, right? So my offense in this case would be
Okay, let me tell you. So this is some other guy. I don't know who this guy is. I guess the Sandman. I don't know who this guy is that's talking right now. There's another guy. That's the Undead Chronic guy, and then the other guy is Rollo. So Rollo's not talking right now. That's the other guy, not even Undead
Okay.
Chronic. By the way, Undead Chronic continuously calls Lauren Southern non-married, non-virgin, single mom that sleeps with Destiny. Like I'm over and over
Why
again.
is that
It's
an
the
own?
funniest-
Yeah,
I don't know. It's the funniest thing. Non-virgin, single mom. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
By the way, yeah. That's just creepy. Like, I only consider virginal women. Like, does he do that? Put in his like app when he's trying to date? Like, must provide medical proof that hymen is intact,
Jesus,
and
yeah.
must like, dude, that's some real weird.
It's
That's
fucked.
weird stuff. Yeah.
It is.
I look at what Venti's doing. Venti right now
Ooh.
is with Sean, but she's also hanging around with Gary from Nerdrotic.
So
who's going to
they're
open up
friends.
new circles
In the
for
same-
other
yeah.
male.
Did you hear them go, oh, like a bunch of 16-year-old
Mm,
girls? Like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Gary from Nerdrotic. What?
Yeah. He's a 50-year-old man. Yeah. Ooh.
Just wait. This gets so much better.
males that she can.
She's
hatch
going to
this
open
off
up
to.
her circle for a male to enter.
Yeah,
But
and
no, what I'm saying right now is,
I got something about.
That's
So what I
wrong.
would do is I would be talking to Nerdrotic. I'd be talking to whoever, like I would be trying to like point to him and tell him, hey, look, this is what she's been doing to me. Just be careful
Let's
because
take
she
a-
could.
No,
I'm
go ahead.
fairly.
Can you
I'm
just pause
fairly
it right here?
certain
Yeah,
Gary from
yeah.
Nerdrotic was.
Okay, so that
Do
the
you-
guy that just started talking, that's Rollo. And he's like, I
Okay.
got some stuff on Nerdrotic.
There are
Just wait.
so many guys that email me, like when I started doing my show with Sydney, like,
Mhm.
bro, I'm just trying to tell you, man,
Watch out.
watch out,
Watch out for
man.
her.
She's gonna get you.
She's
Like-
gonna sue your ass.
Yeah, she's gonna sue you, bro. I'm just looking out for you, bro. And I was like, I feel pretty fine not harassing her in the workplace. Like, I feel pretty good about not, I'm not gonna be groping or whatever was going on there. I don't know. I wasn't there. But like,
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly. But the and it was like anytime I have women on my show too, people will be like, bro, why you have this, this chick on you? She's a grift. I'm just trying to protect you, bro. I'm like, man, I'm trying to like weed that out of my audience a little bit by I'll
Mhm.
call it out like when I see it specifically, like,
Mhm.
dude, don't be cringe, like don't be like this,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta get to Gary, you gotta get to him and warn him.
Yeah.
We gotta warn the succubus is gonna get him.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to get they want to warn Gary, but I'm gonna warn Gary right now. Watch out, Gary.
Yeah, like Gary that spent time in the federal prison system. I think he pretty much knows what's what, and I know he knows like how to,
Yeah.
I think he's seen a little bit more than guys that sit and do these streams without putting their faces on their streams.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God, this gets so much better.
In on it.
Let's take a real quick.
Why?
real-
Because okay, he's been this
So that's what so Rolla just said. Gary's been in on it. Like he
Oh,
thinks
yeah.
Gary's in on it.
like
Everyone
so
is.
He's this leftist from the coast, from San Francisco, right?
Yep.
So,
Whoa,
and
he's
so
not a
down, I think,
leftist.
Texas.
No, he's not.
He literally moved from California to Texas for political reasons.
He's not. I mean, even
This
if
is
he
the thing
was
that's-
like 20 years ago, like that is not a thing anymore. Like, holy
This
shit.
is so offensive how little they like. It's not even that they don't know; they just don't
Just throw
care.
shit
They
out
just
there.
make
This
it
is
up.
it.
Yeah,
This is just making it up. This is what Rollo got caught for, is just making shit up and
Oh,
being a
Gary?
gossip
Yeah.
grandpa and like just being like, oh my God, like, so this Gary dude, he's like from San Francisco. What a fucking leftist. And it's just like,
Yeah.
dude, are you like 14? What
Yeah.
the fuck, man?
This where they are.
He's
What
like,
did I
oh,
understand,
I'm
Diego?
based. Marvel is feminist now. I'm like, that's not enough, you fucking nerd.
Okay, but seriously, like, why is he all of a sudden friends with Venti and Sean? Like, this is
Mhm.
just a bizarre.
who's
So,
Sean?
do you have any
Okay.
insight
Okay.
on that? Like, what's
Okay, did you catch that? Sean, right?
Why
They're
he's not allowed
referring-
to be friends with her?
That Sean is Brittany Venti's boyfriend. Think before you sleep.
Oh,
And
okay.
this dude
I didn't know
hates
if that was public,
him.
but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's public. Yeah.
Alright.
That's public knowledge. And that this dude hates him because, well, he started dating Brittany Venti and he left the manosphere. And so everyone's like, you fucker. Like,
You got
can't-
cocked.
Yeah, you got cooked. You just think the way you do now because Brittany made you. She's holding your balls. Like that's
She
basically what's
tainted,
going
yeah,
on.
he was tainted by her octopus ink.
Yes.
All
going
right,
on?
all right. So let me get. Okay, this is this is me spitballing here. Okay, so
As usual.
back in I think it was in May. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm somewhat good friends with Chrissy Mayer, right?
That's
And
Rolo saying
she
this.
was doing a gig out here in
big name
Vegas. I
drop
was
there.
meeting up with her. I took some pictures with her.
I like
I
Chrissy.
consider her a friend. I had we had was it what's the girl? X-ray
Melanie-
girl. X-ray girl was on.
Melanie
We
Mack,
had
yeah.
her. Yeah, we had her, and we had one of her friends on Access Vegas. They were actually panel girls, right?
Wow.
I felt I gave fucking X-ray girl a gift, man, because she's into Warhammer. I like Warhammer too.
Oh,
And so
this is that Undead Chronic guy talking. So he's like all like,
okay.
yeah, I went and sipped out for X-Ray Girl and Chrissy Mayer. They're so great, but Brittany Venti, she's awful.
I was
they're
really
not.
cool
they're
with them. I
not.
was looking
They're the
forward to
good
seeing
ones.
Chrissy and stuff, and they were doing their Nerdrotic Friday Night Tights or something like
Mhm.
that at
Right.
Sticky Paw Studios, which is here in Vegas. And I went down there. I wasn't actually going there to see Gary. I was actually going to see Chrissy because I knew she was there, and I wanted to see her and get a picture with her and say, hey, say hey, because I hadn't been able to see her up until that point. And so I'm kind of like hanging around Sticky Paws, and I'm a regular at Sticky Paws. I'm there all the time.
He's a big
right?
deal.
And
Yeah.
so I'm going around, and they're basically like they're doing their show, and I'm kind of looking in on the show and everything. And his stage manager basically like pushes me out of the fucking room and says, yeah, hey, closes the door and everything.
Pussy.
Like it's all fucking important and everything. I'm like, okay, fine. And I was waiting around. I wasn't expecting to get on the fucking show. I just want to see Chris, right? And
Creepy.
so the people
He's
are
so
around there. I
bitter.
think they probably knew who I was because I now in hindsight, like thinking of what the vibe was at in
The guy who
studio at
never
that
puts
point,
his picture on the
because
internet.
all
They
the people, all
spotted
their
him and knew
followers in the
exactly who he
green room
was.
and all this.
They knew who he was because probably Venti told them like that's
Oh, yeah.
that guy. She hates me. Kick him out. Like that's probably what he's thinking.
People who I don't
Yeah.
know are like they're hangers on for the show.
Mhm.
They're kind of, I think they knew who I was because everybody was just like not talking to me. They just did not want to have anything to do with me. And then, Chrissy came out. I took a picture with her. I was talking to her for a little bit, and then she had to go back in because it's a long ass show. And that was it.
swear-
I was there
like-
for not even an hour.
So how
You
does
were-
how does this
you
all
were
relate
so
to
much-
Gary and Venti?
You were
Okay,
so much.
here's-
You were
here's
so
what
much
I-
nicer,
here's-
Rolo.
okay.
You were so much nicer.
That was a good question
Was
because
he
it's like,
just
what the fuck are
flexing?
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just flexing. We're like, I was like, okay, what does this have to do with Gary and Venti?
I'm-
But okay.
I know a girl.
XOXO.
Yeah.
Gamer Squad than I would be. If I was around the Geese and Gamer Squad, I'm taking Star Wars Girl. We're going to the bathroom. I'm making her take a couple lines, and then I'm gonna get kicked out by security with my pants missing.
Who the hell is this
Okay.
guy?
He's the other guy.
But here's the joke I wanted to make.
She's
It's anime.
engaged
Anime.
too.
You know the anime.
Mhm.
Everybody knows the anime series where like the last episode of a season they just show old clips and animations from other episodes.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. It's just like
Yeah,
Rolo's
I-
bringing up Chud Logic. I roasted him. He's bringing up Not So Erudite. I roasted that bitch. And then he brought up Alex from Playing with Fire. Good God,
God.
Rolo, you're
I
gonna
don't know
bring
who
up all
any
the
of these
people that
people
got
are.
beef
That was-
with.
that was
Are you
one of the
trying to
most
open up a
frustrating-
butcher shop.
That was one of the most frustrating interviews I've ever had. Like he just wouldn't get it. Like he's just mouth breathing and he can't figure out any of the things I'm talking about.
Well, when I was, so
He's so
I didn't,
smart.
I don't know him from Adam. I never even talked to this guy before. I really didn't. I was, like I said, I only saw him for like half a second at the studio, and then I like I said, I took pictures with Chris and I left, right? And then later on, for whatever reason, like he starts coming at me for some fucking reason because maybe he saw me there or someone of his crew saw me there or whatever. And I didn't say two fucking words about it. And then suddenly I'm like, why is this guy coming at me? And like I guess he was talking to shit about like me being the red pill, godfather or whatever and this shit. I'm
Red
like, I'm
pill
used to that.
Every
And
time-
so somebody had sent me
every
some
time,
video
hold on.
about like, oh look,
I
look,
love
Nick
how-
Roddick was talking shit.
Every time he says the Godfather Red Pill, he never says I'm the Godfather Red Pill. He says people always say this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong. People, I'm just the Godfather Red Pill. Whatever. Other people are saying this about me. Like, oh my
I-
god, dude.
Never heard anyone
Does
say
that
it
drop
about
panties in the bar? Do you go and tell people, I don't know if you have heard of me, but I'm the godfather of the red pill? People be like, what? Like the Matrix movie?
Yeah,
Like
like, what the
nobody
fuck are
knows
you
what the
talking
hell
about?
that is.
Yeah, unless they're like deep into like, manosphere, they'd be like, the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about, bro?
Shit about you. I'm like, why? Who? Why? You know? And now it makes
So he just said, I heard this guy Gary was talking shit about you. And he's like, who?
sense because
Of
he's tight
course,
with
yeah.
Brittany Venti.
Well, that's
And
Oh, yeah,
so,
so
she's just
now
tell-
he's I think probably him giving me shit on his stream was another attempt to get me to go public
well,
with
yeah.
the fucking
There,
document.
I got
there-
a
look,
cra-
there's
I
a
got
lot of
crazy-
there's a lot of
documents.
stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right
I
now.
got-
I've talked to a few guys that
Yeah.
have talked about how women out of the blue are starting to contact them, send them nudes, want to connect with them. And I've
I
got
got
like
a-
3 women right now doing
Nobody's
that.
doing
And
this.
other guys are
No,
telling me this.
nobody's
is
sending them
happening now
nudes.
all of a sudden.
Nobody's sending them news. Nobody's doing this.
Yeah.
This is just like the nudes Venti was gonna send Rolo. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I got some
Got-
nudes for you, bro.
Yeah, guys, I don't show my face on my stream. No one knows who I am, but chicks are sending me nudes all the time. I spend 3 hours calling women whores, but yeah, they're sending me nudes.
Tons of nudes. I got all these chicks in my DMs.
Yeah.
Like in the
Yeah,
manosphere.
So I have.
And
a
so there's
great-
a
yeah. Go on. Finish your point, Tim. And I'll.
Oh, there's
say
a there's a
mine.
coordinated effort.
yeah. No,
on
that like
that.
if you're talking about all this, they realize they can't stop the ideas. So now they have to kind of discredit
silence the voices and put them in prison is what.
But
they-
you-
Hey,
how do you-
Rolo, let me ask you a question real quick, man. I'm sorry to bust in, guys.
Bust in, Hammerhand. That's your job.
Is there another angle here with Venti, or was this just an elaborate hoax to try to get you to step on your dick with a bad drop?
Well, here's the thing. So it was taking too long. This is my speculation here. Okay, so it's taking too long for me to go public. As you know, at the end of June,
Just so everyone knows out there, he doesn't have anything.
He has
He
nothing.
has nothing. He's completely fabricating this.
Yeah.
He has no kill shot for Brittany Venti. This chick has been online longer than most. Everything that, she's got some weird breakups or whatever in her past, whatever. But like, there's no silver bullet. He's got nothing.
He's
And he
got
just keeps saying,
nothing.
I've got the documents, guys. Like, I'm going to release them just any day now. You embarrassed me publicly just 7 or 8 more times, and I'm going to release the documents.
This is so stupid.
And oddly enough, I'm not saying they were in on it, but I can't say they weren't. But suddenly they asked me out of the blue, "Hey, we really want you to come and we want to do an interview with you. Flacco wants to do an interview." I'm like, "Okay,
Who?
why now?"
I don't know.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And then, so I thought I was going to get fucking ambushed, but I don't care if you're going to ambush me. That's fine, but at least give me a hint that I'm going to get ambushed so I can be prepared, right? So
That defeats
I'm
an
like-
ambush.
well, exactly. But so I'm like I have my people saying Destiny's going to be there when you're there in Burbank, right? And I was like, okay. So I hit up Flacco. I said, look, I if you're planning to spring Destiny on me or whatever, I said, just let me know ahead of time. I didn't even say I wouldn't do it. I just said, just let me know ahead of time.
I think he
because
did
I
say that
wanted
because
to
he started
have
to say that.
a
He started
printout.
to say, if you have Destiny on, then, and then he like quick changed and he said, well, it's not like I wouldn't even do it, which indicates, I think in his mind, he's like, he was going to tell the truth about backing out, but then he like made up a lie about it.
That's a good catch.
Of the protection order was the first one from Aaron, because Aaron, her ex-husband, gave me the documents for the protection order. So I wanted people to know that I had actually talked to Aaron. And then I also had the printouts of the false forged medical admissions for her ultrasound. I also had those in my back pocket while I was talking to
He's so
Flacco.
smart, Nina.
And
So smart.
I wanted to
He's
be
so
prepared in case
smart.
he actually like sort of stepped in the room and said, "All right, let's have it out. Tell me, show me the proof, asshat," because he was there on the same day that I was there. He was also Sneeko was there on the same day
Okay,
I was
now
there.
I gotta-
And MLD was there on the same day. I
real
was
quick,
there.
man. I gotta butt in real quick.
So, anyways, I don't remember exactly where it goes from here, but like I just remember him basically blaming Gary from Nerdrotic and being like, he's probably in on it because these women
Everybody's
couldn't
in
have.
on it.
Yeah, these women couldn't have come up on this by their own. They must have had a man's help. Either, well, I think they think Destiny was in on it too, but they
He
don't
probably
really count
was.
Destiny as a man.
Yeah, they don't. I would suspect that Destiny probably knew what was going on. May have helped in the email writing process. I don't know, and it doesn't change anything because
Mhm.
he's still like read those anonymous emails as if they were absolute fact, and then he made up even more into like he said. I remember I saw the clip. He said, I have her nudes. I have them. I do.
Yeah.
I have them. I'm gonna release them. Ew, nudes. And like he lied. It was just like
He
uh
100% lied. And
it
it's just like he's just like it's just he's caught in this lie now. And he's been got by 2 women, and he just it's so bad for his image. So now he's doubling down, and now he's being like, no, the only reason I did this is because they were trying to get me to go public, but I actually looked into it and I knew it was real, and I wasn't gonna go like public into. And I was just like, dude, no, this is he's spinning it. He's just spinning like, and anything that he's putting out there is basically completely fabricated and not from the truth, because everything else is, well, for us to see. We've seen all the evidence that Brittany offered as evidence.
yeah,
So
it's
just fun.
extra delicious that like it's like, sometimes if you ever people probably don't eat a Burger King anymore, but every time you order fries, sometimes there would be a single onion ring in there too, and you're like, sweet. And,
Yeah, it's a good
like
prize.
the fact that he got so incredibly crushed by 2 women is
Mhm.
like even better. Now, of course, I don't want to give Rolo, that's not his real name, but whatever, uh um advice, but all he should have done is said, see, I told you women are conniving bitches. Look what they did. They
Yeah.
conspired, they entrapped me, and that's what he should have did. Not this whole thing. Yeah, Gary from Nerdrotics, who's averaging 25 million views a month on YouTube. Yeah, he's really thinking about Rolo Tomato.
Yeah.
And everybody's always thinking, oh yeah, he's put together. Yeah. Ooh, these people are in town. They were probably looking to get me. Like if I put out a video tomorrow and I was like, Rolo Tomasi exposed, it would be my least viewed of the video of the day,
Probably.
guaranteed.
Yeah, nobody cares.
And he's probably done good work for men. I hope he has.
He
But
charges $1,000 for an hour, Jeremy.
nobody
I
pays
don't
that.
know.
Nobody
No,
pays that.
nobody's paying that. I mean,
Yeah.
the people who have, I question their
If you're paying
sanity.
$1,000 an hour to talk to him, you get what you do is you go, because he's going to give you advice on women. Here's what you should do: go fly to Vegas and have an incredible night with some working girls,
Ladies of the
if you're
evening.
if you're paying $1,000 a night or an hour, you're getting high quality, product.
Yeah,
But
100%.
and I just for price is a combination of demand and scarcity, and the $1,000 an hour does not. He does have some level of scarcity with a limited number of hours in the day, but come on, dude. Like I see he does these 5-6 hour streams and there's like a couple hundred people watching. Like where are all these people that are like, please fix me, Daddy Rolo. I'll pay you $1,000 an hour just to talk to me. And by the way, married guy with a daughter should not be asking for another girl who's probably younger than his daughter's nudes.
That's so creepy and gross.
That's not alpha male. That's not king of
No.
the castle. That's not being in control of yourself. That's being a creep.
Well, and that's the other thing that he's accusing her of, is like he's saying that he doxed
That's such
daughter.
a reach. She's
It's
she's
so
a beauty
stupid.
queen.
She's
Like-
a public figure. Like it was her Instagram. It was her public Instagram that she showed, and she like barred the wife's face, so the wife's face wasn't showing. So I'm like, I don't like.
By the way,
doxing
even if she didn't,
address or full name,
where you
address,
work,
where you work, phone number,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like none of that was given out in the 2 videos I watched. None of that was given out for Rolo. I don't even know the guy's name. That's how
Well,
much. That's how much he was doxed.
Yeah, and by the way, the daughter, again, Brittany could have showed that picture all she wanted. It's a public Instagram post. Her daughter is she's a beauty pageant contestant, or was.
She
like
won
she's not.
because it said like Miss Nevada or something like that,
Well,
like
there you go. Yeah.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever the case, like, so no, that was such people were in my mentions when I was making fun of him. Like, bro, she doxed his daughter. I'm like, dude, like that is the biggest reach.
Yeah.
And then all these people are so snowed. Like, well, it justifies everything Rollo said because he doxed her daughter. I'm like, he's a complete liar. He got caught in a half a dozen obvious lies that even with the evidence out there continue to lie to you.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I'm defending this guy. And I'm going to go on Jeremy's Twitter and spurg out about how
dare she
I
dox
yeah,
him?
he didn't. They tried to get him to get CP. Like, no, they did not try to do that. They were screwing with
No.
him. They were trolling with him. And then him calling the
But
cops
even if
and all
they
this
did, the point is,
pathetic.
even if they did, he wanted it. Okay,
He
he's
still
the
asked for
one
it.
who wants the fucking nudes. Okay,
Yeah,
you'd be like,
yeah.
if somebody's offering you nudes online, you say no, thank you, or you don't respond at all. Like you just don't respond. That is,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I've had people ask me for nudes. Guess
Well,
what
yeah,
kind of
me
response I
too.
give
Every
them?
single day, probably
Nothing.
50, 60 times a day. But yeah, it was usually I get asks for pictures of my feet. Like
Wow.
sincere asks. Yeah.
Really?
And I'm
Have you ever
like,
thought of making an only feet, like for your feet?
no, but I mean, we're all just kind of one bad day away from it. You know, I
That's
think,
true.
shout out to the feet people out there. I think,
Mhm.
keep me in mind when I'm at my lowest.
Oh
I'll
my
be
God.
there. You might want to catch some of
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
mention,
gonna I'm
Creed
gonna
fan
repeat.
forever said, after years of chemo treatments, and a few months ago, my family got the news that there's no longer any signs of leukemia in his blood.
Oh my God,
Yay.
yay!
Good
That's
for you.
amazing. And somebody super chatted about that as well as
Yeah.
Dalu. Thank you for the 10. Creed fan forever has a chat about getting good news on leukemia. Can you address? Oh my God, yes. Thank you for mentioning that. And that's amazing. Fuck cancer. That's all I can say. Good
Yeah,
for
well,
you. Good for
maybe,
you.
yeah, now the real question is, did listening to Creed give you that cancer?
No.
I'm kidding.
You're mean. Okay, gonna catch a couple more of these and then we're gonna call it a night. Thank you for becoming a member there, Lester. Lester San Jose Skeptic Tank. Brick Hardcastle for $5 says, "Hey Neener, love ya. Does Jeremy know where I can get good coffee? Asking for a friend. Grumpy Ninja rules. Thank you. Yes, make sure you check out Coffee Brand Coffee. It's amazing. The links are all in the description, by the way. If you
I
feel
appreciate
like
that. Yeah.
you just need you're like, I need my caffeine fix right now, go click that link. You get yourself some Coffee Brand
Big
coffee.
sale
I've heard
today.
it's amazing. Big sale
Yeah.
today too. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I was watching one of your videos and they're like,
Yeah.
site-wide sale. Oh yeah, and I went to your website to like put it on there and I was like,
Yeah.
site-wide sale, and I was like, it looks like you're in Mexico. Would you like to change your location?
Yeah. Would you like to actually purchase our products? Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
I'm like, no. Colt Steven, thank you for the $9.99. It says, yo, Jeremy, did you hear about Rick being a lolcow on Side Squirrels podcast today? Please kick his mashed potato stuffed in a plastic bag, bald jackass in the boxing match if it's still happening. Hi, Nina. Is that still happening?
I know he backed out, and that's fine. I'm no longer interested in it anyway. His kid's sick.
Oh, that
and
sucks.
that's fine. I did hear about it. People sent it to me. I'll probably like consume that. I know that he called a gay guy a token gay and then said he tried to justify and say that that was in fact not homophobic.
Ooh.
And I don't think it went well for him. So I may check that out at some point, but I need to go back.
I have not heard about this, but I'm gonna check that out as well. That sounds very entertaining. Like I said, I like drama.
Like to a literal gay guy's face. And he's like, don't you get how this is a homophobic thing to say? Like, I'm gay, and I'm saying like, they're like, yeah, but you had Melanie Mack on the show. So
And
like,
oh
yeah,
no.
and, yeah.
Chicago, thank you, Chicago Faucet, for the $5. Says, should men be agreeable to women? Should women be agreeable to men? There's a market for hypocrisies. I think
I don't get where you're going with
both
that.
can work. Like, I mean, we can both be agreeable
Everyone
to
should be
each other.
agreeable. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
know, not really sure, but thank you for the super chat. Culture Pro, thank you for the $5. Says, it is weird though. Venti and Sean gifted Gary a premium NES and a ton of games right before Sean appeared on FNT. Dun dun dun.
It's all
Like,
connected.
it's all connected. And George, the Giant Slayer, George, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships to the chat. That is so kind of you, buddy. And I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're
Yeah, I
doing
haven't
good.
seen him in a while either.
I'm really glad you dropped by, though. And there was also another $10 from Vino1307 on Rumble. Says, I need to apologize to Brittany Venti and admit that she was completely right about that super entitled brat Pearl. Yeah, that was a good video, too. And Enoch Leher423 for $3 says, good. And that's all he wrote. Well, that's a
I don't
great.
remember it. Now we don't have the context, but yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe about Rolo that he got caught. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for that. And again, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Oh yeah, no problem.
You are amazing. And I guess plug your wares. Like, tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up next.
Well, yeah, I'm the Quartering on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble. I stream every day from 12 to 2 on Rumble. I'd like to see you there. And yeah, check out my coffee. It's good stuff. And it's on sale. And I appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
Now my old ass is going to go to bed now. And
Cool.
but thank you for having me on. It was a great conversation, and I wish you all the best. And
it was so much fun, Jeremy. Thank you for coming on. And
Yeah.
If you stay for like 2 more minutes behind the scenes, I'm going to tell you another thing about another drama that we can't talk about on air.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. Don't tease me. Yeah, I'd say
2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
But everybody else, thank you so much for watching. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask you, is Rumble treating you well? Are you having fun on Rumble? Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it stream's growing every day. You have a nice crowd on Rumble. You have a couple hundred people watching. Yeah. So
I love
think,
it. I love it over there. Rumble's doing great things. So I want to make sure I kind of tell everybody all the time, make sure you're subscribed to everybody, every creator that you follow. If they have a Rumble, go follow them on there because Rumble's doing great things. And I see you posting updates about them all the time too, which is really nice.
Yeah, they're doing they have new search update coming out, which I think their site search isn't very good. So I'm hoping that improves, and there's lots of other cool stuff going on. So yeah, check out Rumble. Yep.
Definitely check out Rumble, Quartering on Rumble, and everybody else. Thank you again. Thank you. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all that good stuff. You guys are supporting the channel in amazing ways, and that way I can interview people like Jeremy, the Quartering. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Let me see if I can find my outro. Okay, bye.